जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर हरि यशोदनंदन व्रज जन यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रावण जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर जय राधा गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर हरि यशोदनंदन व्रज जन यशोदनंदन व्रज जन रावण Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Jai Radha Kunja Bihari Gopijana Lava Girivar Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Lava Girivar Yashodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Ravana Ravana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada परिणाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories to Guru and God. Jai Shri Ram. Screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nastapradeshtu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Asti. Hare Krishna devotees, Bhagavatam class, low battery. And today's verse, third canto, 24th chapter, 12th verse. Hare Krishna. Brahmovacha Tvaya Me Apachit Tata Kalpita Nirvyali Kataha Yan Me Sanja Grihe Vakyam Bhavan Manada Manayan Brahmavacha Tvaya me apachitistata Tvaya me apachitistata Kalpita Nirvalikataha Kalpita Nirvalikataha Yan me Sanjagrihe Vakyam Yan me Sanjagrihe Vakyam Bhavan Manada Manya Bhavan Manyada Manya. Word to word translation. Brahma, the Lord Brahma, Uvacha, said, Tvaya, by you, me, my Apachitihi, worship, Tata, O son, Kalpita, is accomplished, Nirvyalikataha, without my Sanjagrihi, have completely accepted, Vakyam, instructions, Bhavan, you, Manada, O Kardama, one who offers honor to others, Manayan, respecting. Translation purported by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma said, my dear Lord, my dear son Kardama, since you have completely accepted my proper respect, you have worshipped me properly. Whatever instructions you took from me, you have carried out, and thereby you have honored me. Perfect. Lord Brahma, as the first living entity within the universe, is supposed to be the spiritual master of everyone. And he is also the father, the creator of all beings. Kardama Muni is one of the Prajapatis or creators of the living entities. And he is also a son of Brahma. Brahma praises Kardama because he carried out the orders of the spiritual master in toto and without cheating. A conditioned soul in the material world has the disqualification of cheating. He has four disqualifications. He is sure to commit mistakes. He is sure to be illusion. He is prone to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. But if one carries out the order of the master by discipline or the purpose, he overcomes the four defects. Knowledge received from the modified spiritual master is not any other knowledge which is managed by the convinced is Brahma knew well Kardama exactly carried out the instructions to him, and that he actually honored his spiritual master, honored his spiritual master. To honor the spiritual master means to carry out his instructions word for word. So here the proper terms.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Achyuta Prabhu, Hare Krishna. You are on mute.
Okay, sorry. Here there is a bandwidth slow. Disconnected, I think. Thanks, Prabhu. So we'll start again. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakkurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shrirupam Sagrajatam Saranarunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sumyavadi Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Yes. So once again, I am repeating the today's verse. Today's verse is 3rd canto, 24th chapter, and 12th verse. Before getting into today's verse, let us have a connectivity of canto and chapter. So as we all know, the 3rd canto is status quo. Status quo means the primary creation already started and annihilation and everything, we have discussed in the 1st canto and the 2nd canto. And in the 3rd canto, status quo. So that means government already passed the resolution. The particular resolution is implemented in the among the prajas or in the society, and the government is coming for verification. That means checking whether this amendment is executed properly or not. How the prajas are taking that amendment like that. So in such a context, the status quo being given to us. And today's chapter, as I mentioned, 24th chapter. So before having an idea about the 24th chapter, what and all we discussed in previous chapters, I'll start from 22. So in 22 chapter, the marriage of Kardamamuni and Devavati, and then the 23rd chapter, Devavati's lamentation. So separation of spiritual husband, this spiritual association she will not get. So in that context, she is having a lamentation, and this particular flow of this 3rd canto divided into 4. First, it is meeting of Uddhava and Vidura, and then pastimes of Lord Varaha. So, and presently we are in appearance and teachings of Lord Kapila. So the division of this particular canto, pastimes of appearance and teachings of Lord Kapila, which start from 21 chapter and then up to 33rd chapter. It goes about Kardamamuni and Devavati, and then Lord Kapila up to 33rd, 33 chapter. But we are in 24th chapter. So let me give a little detail about previous chapter. 23rd chapter, Kardama was pleased with Devavati's service and offered her benediction. On her request, Kardama received Devavati's emaciated body and created a majestic aeroplane, and they enjoyed for 100 years. After Devavati gave birth to 9 daughters, Kardama decided to leave. Then Devavati lamented for not taking the spiritual association of Kardama. So these things being detailed discussion happened earlier, and now our focus is from 24th, and after this 24th, from 25th onwards, the teachings of Lord Kapila. So this is out of our scope. Teachings of Lord Kapila to Devavati. After Kardama left, Kapila stayed with mother. She inquired from him. So this is next chapter and so on. And our discussion is the renunciation of Kardamamuni. That is 24th chapter. So exactly in 24th chapter, what we are going to discuss is Lord Kapila appeared in Devavati's tomb. Brahma glorified Kardama and Devavati. And today's verse is Brahma glorified Kardama and Devavati. Marriage of 9 daughters. Kardama offered prayers to Kapila and renounced the world with Lord's permission. Finally, he renounces the world with Lord's permission. So, Lord Brahma's permission. So, his own father, spiritual father, material father. We can, understand that Jiva, material Jiva. And then we'll go to once again the translation of today's verse. Lord Brahma said, "My dear son Kardama, since you have completely accepted my instructions without duplicity, showing them proper respect, you have worshipped me properly. Whatever instruction you took from me, you have carried out, and thereby you have honored me." So this is the statement from who said this? Lord Brahma. To whom he said? Kardama. What he said? He said, since you have completely accepted my instructions, repeating, since you have completely accepted my instructions without duplicity, showing them proper respect, you have worshipped me properly. Right? And then who concluded? Brahma concluded. What he concluded? Whatever instructions you took from me, you have carried out, and thereby you have honored me. So this is the conclusion by Brahma to Kardama Muni. So in this context, I'd like to share Bhagavad Gita 4.2 verse teaches us Evam parampara praptam imam raja rishiyo viduhu. So Evam parampara praptam. So what Brahma's mood? Brahma's mood is appreciating his spiritual son Kardama, and he's so happy that my spiritual son fulfilled all my instructions without any duplicity. So this is our parampara system. One should take up, Guru Vakya. So the Guru's instruction is the most important thing in everyone's life. So let us, in this context, so let me try to bring out some of our parampara, Guru Vakya, right? Starting from, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So here, from our parampara, as I mentioned, our Acharya, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Swami, he asked his disciple, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, to go to the West to teach Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada went to New York in 1965 and carried on his spiritual master's mission on a grand scale. So in the same context between Brahma and Kardama Muni, here we can understand how our parampara system also being, carried out and followed, and how Brahma's instructions to Kardama Muni, and we should understand how our parampara also given instructions to us. See, this is an instruction from Srila Prabhupada's Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So, Maharaj, and he had given instruction. What instruction he had given? See, in India already, you ask everyone, we have, come across, at least you ask someone, they say, yes, I know Krishna, I know Vishnu, like that. But in Western countries, they are so fallen. So it is very much important during, independence movement. And even Prabhupada also not convinced initially. And for first interaction through his friends, Prabhupada went and approached his guru, and all his thought process was defeated. But only one doubt was there with Prabhupada. He was following freedom fighting movement. Then he realized that whomever governs the country, whatever it may be the situation in the Kali Yuga, but this God consciousness is most important, and especially the entire world is so fallen, and if you give it to this entire world, then Krishna will be pleased. That was the mood. And even the proof, here the duplicity was mentioned, without duplicity. When Prabhupada went to US, and then Prabhupada started the movement in 1965, he kept the name ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Some of his disciples and well-wishers, with so anxious, they told Prabhupada, why are you keeping International Society for Krishna Consciousness? Instead of Krishna Consciousness, you can give it as a God Consciousness. Then he mentioned that very straightforward answer. Here I have come to give the instructions of my Guru Maharaj and Prabhupada, right? Without duplicity. So this is the proof for our parampara, how to understand this particular verse between, our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So that is the only thing, evidence for us to understand what exactly this Amala Purana gives knowledge for realizing, to us. So not only within our parampara, let us see little ahead of our parampara system. Srila Gaurakishore Dasa Babaji Maharaj. So we all know Gaurakshandas Babaji Maharaj, how devoted he is, right? And he also exhibited practically how one should not have association of, karmis, right? The devotees, because he compared, even he don't mind to go to the Latin and sitting next to the Latin and chanting of Mahamantra, rather associating with the karmis. Here it is mentioned, who used to sit on the side of a Latin to chant Hare Krishna. Many materialistic persons used to come and bother him and disturb his daily routine of chanting. See the mood of Acharya company. So to avoid their company, he used to sit by the side of a Latin where materialistic person would not go because of the filth and anxious, obnoxious smell. Right? So see the mood of Srila Gaurakishore Das Babaji Maharaj. See our acharyas. So because whatever the vow they were taken from their Guru Maharaj, and they have strictly followed this, avoiding this non-devotee association. Gaurakishore Das Babaji was so great that he was accepted as a spiritual master of such a great personality of, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. This is our parampara system. So they all proved, taking seriously how Kardama took seriously his, spiritual father's instruction of, from Brahma. The Brahma himself glorified. So here is the proof, right? That is most importantly, one we should understand. And slightly we will go, further. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So we all know he is the father of, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So, and let us learn from, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur how he followed, his guru. And here there is some of, his daily routine. Always anxious to use every moment in loving service of Krishna, he followed who? Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Strict, fasted daily schedule. Just a glimpse I will, tell, then I will give the summary of it. So morning, not morning, it starts from, night. So around 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. rest, 2 hours. Then from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. he writes unimaginable. Like 10 o'clock to morning 4 o'clock, keep on writing, books, bhajans, everything. And then 4 a.m. morning 4 a.m. to 4:30 rest, only half an hour rest, 4 to 4:30. Then 4:30 to 7 a.m. chanting japa, 4:30 to 7. Then 7 a.m. to 7:30 correspondence, and 7:30 to 9:30 study sastras. 9:30 to 10 bath, prasadam, milk, fruits, 2 chapatis. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. court duties. By profession, we all know he is a magistrate. Prabhupada mentions next to the governor, such a very high position. 10 to 1 p.m. Then 1 to 2 p.m. Then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. court duty to Bengali. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. bath prasadam, and again milk, rice, 2 chapati. So as a summary, he sleeps for only 3 hours. Cannot imagine, so how much they are dedicated towards, spiritual life, and only 3 hours. And we are not talking about, other yugas, like Brahma and, Kardama Muni. We are talking about this, yuga, Kali Yuga. We are talking about Kali Yuga. And writes about 8.5 hours. He writes the whole night, 10 o'clock to morning 4 o'clock, he writes 8.5 hours. And then japa and study about 4.5 hours. And then for work, he gives only 6 hours. And not only that, the biographers list 3 major preaching achievements of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, there are 3 points here it is mentioned. The first one is 100 authorized spiritual books. right? Per day he spends 8.5 hours, right? And he wrote 100 authorized spiritual books. And number 2, discovered appearance place of Lord Chaitanya along with this book. And then introduced preaching innovations beside books in 3 different languages, Bengali, Oriya, English, reviving and explaining Mahaprabhu's message, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. He wrote hundreds of poems, even today we sing, and songs full of spiritual sentiments and Shastric Siddhanta, philosophical conclusions. So this is the proof how Kardama exhibited. Even our acharyas also following, in their footsteps. Here, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakura is the standing proof for all of us. See, sleeping for 3 hours, and I'm nowhere, we cannot imagine this parampara, how contributed, how sincere, for the fallen souls. Right? That is the real mood of a Vaishnava. Ahead, next, parampara, Sri Jagannath Das Babaji. What we are learning from, Jagannath Das Babaji here. And we all know, with this glorification, who is respected by the entire Vaishnava community and who discovered the place where Lord Chaitanya appeared. Sri Jagannath Das Babaji ki jai. And there are so many pastimes. I took, 1 or 2 points only about, Sri, Jagannath Das Babaji. One day, Sri Babaji Maharaj remarked about the professional readers of Srimad Bhagavatam. So professional readers means they fully, go everywhere and, they exhibit their, scholarly quality about the language and other stuff, among the common people. And but keeping, the soul away. So there is no soul, only the bodily concept of, discussion. So he strongly, condemned such a people by saying this kind of professional Bhagavata Kirtana is simply prostitution. So he mentioned, straight answer. It's like a prostitution. Those who make their living by reading Srimad Bhagavatam are offenders to the holy name of Krishna. So don't make your livelihood. This is not karma kanda activity. This is the spiritual activity. It is not, being kept in the position of materialistic way of, making, money, that kind of stuff. And that in that context, in that context, that mood is, very important. Right? Strongly condemn. So this is not the right way. Keeping, even Prabhupada also in many places mentioned that even introduction of Bhagavad Gita, he mentioned very strongly. In this, there are so many, Bhagavad Gita reciters. There are so many people have written, so-called Bhashyam, and keeping the real spirit away. So there is no super soul. There is no message about the soul, and completely, they all decorated the dead body. Right. So that is understanding. That is understanding here for, connecting to this mood of Srila Sri Jagannath Das Babaji. So how Kardama, so sincere about his father's instruction, spiritual father's instruction. Here our parampara system, and here they are the example for that. And even little further, if we go, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura ki jai. And even his name on himself, name itself, gives straight, message to us. And what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura said about, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura was, he is a protector, he is a guardian. He is glorifying, he is a protector and he is the guardian. And Acharya, during the middle period, 1600 to 1700, of the historical development of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu came and established this movement, the role of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. He is a protector and he is a guardian of our parampara system. The growth of Gaudiya Vaishnavism began with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was later rejuvenated by Srila Thakura Bhakti Vinoda, spread by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and broadcast all over the world by Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. So, in the interim period, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura's role is very important. He took this movement and then regenerated and kept this entire mass of people together for the Hari Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti. So he brought everyone together. So that is a glory. Chakravarti means Chakra means Vishwanatha. Vishwanatha means like universe, mass. And then Chakravarti means the one who expands like that. So even further, if we go, Srila Jagannath Dasa Babaji Maharaj, right? So from Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, he was fond of chanting loudly in both Japa and Kirtana. So he chants very loudly both Japa and Kirtana. During Kirtana, he would sing Nitai ki nama Enechi Re. So he always recites Nitai ki nama Enechi Re, ki nama Enechi Rike nama Ritechi Re. Oh Lord Nityananda, what a wonderful name you have brought. Oh Lord Nityananda, what a wonderful name you have brought. Oh Nitai, what a wonderful name you have given. After chanting almost the whole night, the next morning he would offer 1,108 dandavats to the deities. We can see his body. Sri Jagannath Das Babaji body, it bent like bow, right? And he was always enthusiastic to serve the Vaishnavas. He is really, foremost, so popular to, giving, devotee care like that. Right? See how many dandavats for the deities? 1,180 daily morning after the whole night chanting very next day. These are the qualities, our acharyas. And then once again, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti. So Vishwanatha means Sri Krishna, the Lord of the universe. And Chakravarti means he who expands the chakra, circle of bhakti. So he expands, the bhakti, he protected the bhakti. And among all Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, only Vishwanath Chakravarti comes close to matching Srila Rupa Goswami. So he is so, that so close that Prabhupada always mentions, nobody can say that I have attained the perfection, but always so humble. They are mentioning here that matching with Srila Rupa Goswami's, profound realization of the absolute truth. So he aligned. So that means, like how Kardama Muni aligned, followed without any duplicity from his spiritual father, Brahmaji. And Vishwanath Chakravarti name itself implies his position. So I told, the meaning of, Vishwanath Chakravarti. Vishwanatha means Sri Krishna, the Lord of the universe. Chakravarti means he who expands the chakra of bhakti. This is a understanding. Even further, in the same line, the lineage of our parampara and Srila Narottama Das Thakura. So even in Narottama Das Thakura, so though it happens, appearing as the son of a king, Sri Narottama Das Thakura. So they mention Sri Thakura Mahasaya, showed all the bodily symptoms of Mahapurusha. So his body, by seeing his body only, he had a long arms, a deep navel, golden complexes, beautiful eyes shaped like the lotus petals. In school, he was a Shruti Dhara. What is the quality of Narottama Das Thakura? Shruti Dhara. That means able to memorize whatever he hears. Somebody says, like, how Vyadavyas and Ganesha, Lord Ganesha and he utters only once. Then Lord Ganesha has to take up so fast. See, so it's not in other yugas we are talking. It is practically we are speaking about this yuga. And Shruti Dara, although he quickly mastered Sanskrit and the Vedas, he anchored to serve Krishna. Always his mood is to serve Krishna. He was a lifelong brahmachari. So he was a lifelong brahmachari. So that is the glories of Sri Narottama Das Thakur. So every Vaishnava would, follow our acharyas or parampara, starting from Brahma Madhva, Gaudiya Parampara. Not only Kardamuti, not only, Brahma, right? We all know Brahma did tapasya for so many, years, more than 1,000 years in that yuga. So this is the example for, in Kali Yuga, where we could get, inspired or follow from our acharyas. And then Krishnadasa Kaviraj, Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraj, his Chaitanya Charitamrita is the most accurate, authentic and philosophical biography of Lord Chaitanya. He had written, Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraj. And every line is full of, infinite humility, right? Whatever he writes, we can find infinite, humility, enthusiasm, right? And devotion for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And not only that, Krishnadasa had the wonderful power of speaking without offending, even when rebuking his opponents. So those days in the Darbar, kings and many administrative role people likes to see the debate of all the learned people. So in that context, here we can understand, see even rebuking his opponents when they were big fight. That this philosophical difference, Mayavadis and among four authorized parampara, all these things. So even for such a people, without offending, even when rebuking his opponents. It's a big art. It's one of the Vaishnava quality. So here is the proof. So now, if you ask me to associate, with one devotee, so much of aparad, we may speak. I may speak about bad about other devotees, his qualities. We know. So even in ISKCON, the moment, not only in ISKCON, generally, if you tell about any one person, immediately people will identify, yes, he's a wonderful devotee. Yes, he is very humble. Some people, he is very careless. He very loosely, handles things like that. So, but here is the proof. Through Krishna's Kaviraj, Srila Krishna Kaviraj. So this is the point, one should, understand from our own parampara. And even further digging, and Jiva Goswami. So, very fortunate, Jiva Goswami. In school, he quickly mastered Sanskrit grammar, poetry, logic, philosophy. Srimad Bhagavatam gave life to his life. Krishna Katha filled him with happiness. No one dared to speak to him about anything but Krishna. So he is Jiva Goswami is such a powerful person. If somebody approaches him, they automatically speaks about Krishna Katha. They will not speak anything else with him. That is the glory of Jiva Goswami. And he toured Navadvipa Dhamma with Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So he is so fortunate. And with the Nityananda Prabhu, he just toured this Navadvipa Dhamma and studied Sanskrit in Banaras, and then resided in Vrindavana. So he started living in Vrindavana. After humbly serving Sri Rupa Goswami by washing his feet, preparing his manuscripts, and editing his books, he received Diksha. So this is the pastimes or little biography about Jiva Goswami. So these are the take-home message from our acharyas in our parampara. One should can progress in spiritual life. And then Raghunath Goswami. So even in Raghunath Goswami, Srila Raghunath Goswami, and born in a dynasty of Vaishnavas, Raghunath Das Goswami was the only son of a wealthy landowner. As a boy, he received Haridas Thakura's association and blessings. After 15, he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the age of 15. By the mercy of Lord Nityananda, he renounced his life. He ran to Jagannath Puri to immediately serve Sri Gaura Raya and his Shiksha Guru Swarup Damodar Goswami for 16 years. So here the Guru Parampara system, Shiksha Guru, how important, the Guru Parampara. That is what in our movement, there is a IDC course for first initiation. Nowadays it is must. One should undergo this IDC to understand what and all, the qualities of our Parampara. Otherwise, here and there, some, jugglery we will do. So this is a proof for our purpose of why in our movement, ISKCON disciple courses are mandatory for taking first initiation like that. And then Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. So we all know, they all are very prominent officials during, Mohammedan period. At 1517, Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatan Goswami, his elder brother, came to Vrindavana to fulfill 4 orders of Lord Chaitanya. So here again, I'm connecting with today's verse. Whatever the orders given by his father, Kardama, without any duplicity, he took it and he fulfilled it, and his father himself glorified. So that is understanding. And here the point one, there are 4 instructions by Lord Chaitanya. These 4 instructions given to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. One is uncover Sri Krishna's last pastime places, re-establishing Krishna's pastime, because there is a disconnection. And that is instruction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Last pastime places. And number 2, install deities to start puja. So second instruction is deity worship. And third instruction is write Bhakti Shastras. We all know, we all are in ISKCON, identified as Rupanugas. We will not get nectar of devotion, we will not get nectar of instruction without them. We know. And then the 4th instruction by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami is propagate the rules of Bhakti Yoga. So, go and propagate this rules of Bhakti Yoga, not with our own, whimsical way of following. As per the Shastric evidence, just go ahead. So this is the portion, I'd like to give from our parampara, and thought of, connecting with Lord Brahma and Kardama Muni's, sincere devotional service as example. And even another 5 minutes I will take, and then I will conclude. Even in our parampara system, we know, especially ISKCON Seshadripuram is concerned, and even GBC is concerned. And I'll take Krishna Sadhaka. So here there is an initiation process, Siksha process. Some of the vow, every devotee takes. Just I'd like to recall, because every one of us, should possess or would have, come across all this. To recall that, just I'm, repeating here. For 8 rounders, 12 rounders, and 16 rounders, and then first initiation, and then second initiation. Some of the glimpse I would like to give this. And I will chant Krishna Sadhaka. I will chant to 12 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. This is the first one. And I will lead a pure, holy life by avoiding intoxication, within the bracket, alcoholic drinks, meat eating, gambling, and extramarital sex. And the third point, I will study the books of Srila Prabhupada and attend the classes in ISKCON as often as possible. So this is the one. And 4th point, I will worship Lord Krishna as far as practical at home by setting up an altar, offering arti and foodstuff, worshipping the sacred tulsi plant, the following basic sadhana, like rising early in the morning. How many of us rising early in the morning? Big question. I will observe fasting on the Ekadasi and festival dates as indicated in the Vaishnava calendar. So we should not forget. And I will be decided to leading a devotional way of life by gradually learning and practicing Bhakti Yoga according to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada under the guidance of his representatives. So this is for 8 rounders. And then Krishna Upasak, 12 rounders. Same thing, continues and slightly, 1 or 2 points. Here I will observe fasting for the appearance days of the Lord as given in the Vaishnava calendar. Lord's appearance and disappearance days. And observe fasting of appearance and previous acharyas, etc. And Srila Prabhupada Ashraya. Like, I'll strictly avoid intoxication, including coffee and tea, meat eating, gambling, and cinema, sports, and illicit sex. I will also abstain from taking onion and garlic. So this is from Prabhupada Ashraya I'm telling. So they are the standard. I mean, these are the standing evidence or proof for following our parampara or strict instructions like Kardama. We are also getting a chance to follow the lineage, parampara. And then Harinam initiation. Harinam initiation is beginning of our spiritual activity, that devotional service, and we are taking admission. So here there are so many points that as a nutshell, with so many other process undertaken by our guidelines given by GBC and severe process. Like as Prabhupada mentioned, every ISKCON center is an institute where they teach the Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. And then there is another system called book reading. That is first initiation, Bhagavad Gita 2 times, Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, Nectar of Devotion, the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada's biography. So are we serious about this? This is most important. And then second initiation. So in second initiation, it is mentioned that Bhakti Vaibhav and Bhakti Shastri, and then Bhagavad Gita minimum 3 times, Srimad Bhagavatam first canto 2 times, second canto and third canto minimum 1 time. Right now we are discussing about third canto. Then Nectar of Devotion first part, Nectar of Instruction, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada biography, brief version minimum 1 time. So this is our parampara system, and where we have been convinced and started our journey. This is a very wonderful verse to connect to that in our parampara system. And we have so much of defects, as the Purport Prabhupada mentions. What are the 4 defects he is mentioning here? When I read the Purport, so it is mentioned that the conditioned soul in the material world has disqualification of cheating. But Kardama, without any this thing, what to say, duplicity. But that is, he has 4 disqualification, human being. He is sure to commit mistakes. This is the first defect. He is sure to be illusioned. We are in the Maya base. He is prone to cheat others. Posing, I am also doing that. And then, and his senses are imperfect, right? So, that after eating, rasgulla, gulab jamun, if we drink, lemon juice, is tasteless. So like that, all our senses are imperfect. But if one carries out the order of the spiritual master, just now I have listed out all our parampara system, even in our ISKCON movement, what we are. This is the solution for that. Though I have these 4 defects, what is the solution? Is by following our Acharya. Simple answer. What is the solution to follow Kardama Muni? Is following our Acharyas, those who are real example, person Bhagavad. So they are the real example, starting from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to our Guru Maharaj in that context. Therefore, knowledge received from the bona fide spiritual master is not cheating. Any other knowledge which is manufactured by the conditioned soul is cheating only. Brahma knew well that Kardama Muni exactly carried out the instructions received from him, and that he actually honored his spiritual master. Following his instruction footsteps is itself honoring Guru. The honor to honor the spiritual master means to carry out his instructions word for word. So many reporters was asking so many questions to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says very simple answer. Since my Guru Maharaj instructed me, why you have chosen? So this is a question. Why you have chosen Western countries? Prabhupada straight answer. My Guru Maharaj told, I have come to your country and then I started preaching. Thanks for the opportunity. You all are wonderful devotees like that he mentioned. So here I'd like to stop today's verse discussion. Thank you all for hearing and thanks for the opportunity to the temple authority and whoever qualified. Hare Krishna. There are any mistakes, senior Vaishnavas can correct me. There are any suggestions or questions, can take it for another few minutes. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any suggestions, questions, most welcome. Hare Krishna. There are no questions. Mantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavam ki jai. Hare Krishna. All glories to you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.